I'm Danielle Hannenberg, and this is my video project part 3, and I'll be presenting on the topic, the importance of language and literacy from birth to 8 years old. So to define language and literacy, language is simply the skills children need to learn to communicate and talk to one another, and literacy just means the skills children need to learn to read and write. These are important because without these skills, children cannot be successful in school. Children need to know how to communicate so that when they are trying to talk to their teachers or read something, they'll know how to do it because they will know the language skills that they need. Literacy is also super important because it's the basis of everything we do in school, because we are always writing things down, whether it's math, science, reading, anything. It's all written things, so children need to know how to write things. Otherwise, they can't develop appropriately. They won't have the skills that they need to be successful in school. So it's important to start at a young age, because if they learn the skills early on, once they get up to school age, which would be about 8 years old, they will be successful and they will be self-learners. They'll know what they're doing. They'll be able to read and be literate, which is super important because there aren't enough kids who are literate. Technology can also be a great asset in the classroom. It has become more prevalent now, and teachers can use this to their advantage. Teachers can use technology such as programs online or resources online so that if there are children who have disabilities with language and literacy, they can help them still develop appropriately. There are websites that children can use to help kids who are deaf communicate through using that, and even this technology can be something such as a hearing aid, which helps children hear. And it can also be helpful for blind children, because if they want to physically write something down or write in a document, there are a lot of voice command things that they can use that can verbally put words on the page for them. Another way technology is important in language and literacy is because it allows teachers to document the kids better. Through technology, we can have videos and pictures of kids, so we can document where they are in their journey now versus where they are at the end of the year, and this can be very helpful for teachers. So there are several materials that can be used at a school for children that help them develop. This can be even math materials and a calendar. A calendar is a great way to teach children language and literacy skills, because a calendar has days and months, which you have to physically see. You physically have to say the words of the months, and you can go through it, and you can do a lot with calendar days. Another way teachers can have materials in the classroom is to label things so that the children have to read the labels in order to see things better. Other materials you can have are pencils, pens, markers, paintbrushes, anything that children can use to write, and also forms of paper and other things that they can use. Another way that you can have materials in the classroom is to make posters. This can be posters that you make or posters that the children make themselves, because it gets them involved in the process and their learning. So it's important for parents to be a part of the language and literacy skills. This means that outside of the classroom, the parents have to be doing their part too, which means parents need to read to their kids. This is so important for kids to develop skills. Not only are they learning to communicate with you better, but they're learning how to use language and literacy skills. Another way that parents can talk to kids and keep them involved in language and literacy is to talk to them. And this is not like baby talk, which we often want to do. This is having adult conversations with your kids, which means when you put them down to bed, you say, "Good night, I hope you have a wonderful night tonight and sleep well." And this prompts the kid to respond with good morning, good night, actually using those big words that will help them develop better. Another way you can encourage language and literacy skills as a parent and as a teacher is to ask the children questions. If you're asking them questions, they have to respond to you and respond in a bunch of different ways. And the last way that parents can talk to kids and help them is to use things around the house to help them. Like if you have a calendar at home, this can be a great way that parents can communicate with their kids, because they can use calendars to talk about months, days, learn counting skills, and learn literacy skills.